Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are taking a look at the band Crack the Sky. In fact, we're going to take a look at those first two albums from the band. Rand and DC are here. We want to hear from you in the chat. We are live, and we're ready to go.
Talking bands no one talks about. Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Well, Rand's here. I don't know where DC is. Hopefully he'll be here, but Davy Cretin's going, is there anybody out there? Well, we're kind of here. I got Rand here. That's all that matters. So tonight we are going to talk Crack the Sky. I want to welcome everybody to the chat. Sorry we're running a little late, but you know, there's a lot to go on here in the warehouse. It's a lot of tweaking that needs to happen. So we're tweaking. So I want to, Ashley, nice to see you. You are in an alternative reality, Davy. We know that. Jason, nice to see you. Oh, look, we have young Logan here. Logan, nice to see you. I don't know how many people know this band. You know, not too many people. Rand knows them for sure. In fact, Rand's the one that kind of spurred this whole idea. So we're here. Anyway, Rand. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me bring him in. DC's here.
Being invaded.
Hold on, DC. Why can't I see you? Well, I can bring him up. There he is by himself.
Hey,
Look
DC.
out. There's DC by himself.
Ooh.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Why isn't he coming up? Oh, there he is.
There we go.
For God's sakes, let me tweak that a bit. Man.
Sorry, guys. Oh, it was
No,
a
it's all
scramble.
right.
It was
It's
a
okay.
scramble.
It's sometimes you have that, DC. Welcome to the show. How are you?
First
I'm
time
doing
I've seen your
fine.
Atlas.
We have not
It
even.
is. This is the first hatless episode for me because
Let's
it was
see.
a scramble.
What was going on, DC? What's the problem?
Just a myriad of things coming together at the wrong time.
Yeah, I hear you. It happens. I need
That's
to get
my
up my.
life.
What?
That's my life story.
Holy crap! Look, everybody. Guess who's back? Marlon is back.
Oh,
Marlon, where have you been? How could we do a show without you bitching at me every 4 minutes? Especially a live show.
we were wondering about you, Marlon.
Marlon,
Yeah,
did you get an excuse for your teacher or anything? I don't know where you've been. We were worried about you. Oh, kids camp. I'm not sure what that means. Well, he's here, so we can go. We can go, ladies and gentlemen. We can go on with our show. So let me get my. Where's my notes? I swear to God, Grant. Sometimes things aren't as smooth as you want them to be. All right, here we go.
That laptop better not crap out.
What are you talking about, Rand?
Oh, never mind.
All right. So anyway, this is the whole thing. We're going to look at these records, and I think basically what I'd like to do is really just talk about them. I mean, I was thinking about maybe we could do like an album war like everybody else does, but then that would be like something that everybody else does. And, you know,
That's not the way things are done here.
no,
Yeah, we don't do that in our house.
That's right. We lead. We don't follow.
we don't. I
The
don't
lead
try
followers
to.
get out of the way.
Hold on. Give me like 2 seconds, gentlemen. For some reason, I can't find my notes, so I'm going to have to wing it.
Animal
Because
notes.
this is what happened. I was working on my notes today. I had to go to the. Okay, here we go. I went to the doctor today, and it was open office hours, so you can just kind of go in, you know. And I had a lot of time to burn, and I worked on my notes on another computer, which I don't have here. But I thought it was on the network, but maybe it's not. But that's all right. I can, you know, I can do it. I'm good. I'm professional.
Never use notes. You know that? I do everything off the top of my bald head.
Well.
Rand's got all of this just committed
I
to
wing it.
memory. He just needs to draw it out. And
Yeah.
spew
So
it out
here we
to the
go.
rest of us.
I'm ready now. So if anybody doesn't know this band, Crack the Sky was, you know, I've listened to these first two albums quite a bit. In fact, this is what I own. I've got these twofers. Okay.
Yeah.
Now some of the tracks have been. You wish you had them? Why?
I wish I had that one with the white music and what's the other one called?
Animal Note. Oh no! White Crack was the first album. But they've taken like several tracks off of White Music, and they've taken one track off Crack the Sky. So it's not like a full.
Okay.
These aren't totally full. So when I go through my spiel, I don't have all the tracks, but I think you'll get the idea. So anyway,
I can fill in it.
well, I know you guys are going first anyway, so I don't care. But anyway, so these CDs are out there, but they did end up remastering. I don't know. Did they? Maybe Rand knows. Did they remaster the whole catalog? What's the status of the Crack the Sky CD catalog?
The only thing that I've got that's remastered is the debut. This is the remaster.
I think that
And
might
of
be
course,
the only
they
thing.
didn't put the lyrics in it. They didn't put the lyrics in it. They decided to do essays on every song and describe what they're all about and how they happen and all of that. But if you get the LP, if you want the lyrics, the LP's got the lyrics.
Well, Life Song spared no expense because I've got absolutely nothing on my insides.
That was part of the problem with Crack the Sky, their label.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why they broke up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So anyway, this was a quote unquote. I don't know how prog you want to really consider these guys. I don't know. There are a lot of, I'd say prog adjacent because they are a lot of different things. But these guys are out of West Virginia, formed in the early 70s. First album came out in 1975, and that's what we're going to look at first, Crack the Sky. We're just going to go around and see what everybody thinks about it because this show is all about turning you on to stuff. And Crack the Sky is, at least the albums we are looking at for today, are really unbelievable. Unbelievable. Not commercial.
This is a good band.
Great band, great songwriting, great production. It's just incredible. Hey, Robert, how are you? Just really
I'd like to
good
add
stuff. And these
Grant-
guys are really good play. What's that, Rand? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to add that they're still going today. They still do music.
Mm-hmm.
They just released an all acoustic album called From the Wood.
Kind of like
a year ago. I bought it. It's good.
But the two albums we're looking at tonight are the original band. Now, if we were looking at the third album, we lost one of the founding members, which would be that record, which is also a great record. Correct.
I'm going to all that when I get my turn because I just did some studying because I was curious why he wasn't on Safety in Numbers on the live album, and now I can talk.
No, go ahead, Rand, take it away, and then we'll go over to DC and we'll wrap it up with me. We'll just keep going around. We'll look at these first two albums. We're gonna decide, are these albums worth your time in checking out? So go ahead, Rand. Give us your scoop.
Okay,
What's your scoop on that first album?
In 1978. Thanks, Grant. In 1978, I walked into the Works in Eureka, and I don't want to tell everybody the story again, so I won't say it. But and I saw this album on the rack, and I didn't know anything about it. But look at this artwork. See how pretty it is? It's got these cool. And then the guitar player, Rick Witkowski, is like sideways. He's somewhere there. But anyways, yeah, there we go. Right.
Yeah.
See him?
Yeah.
So I
Weird.
said to myself, that's a cool looking album. And I looked on the back and it said recorded live at Tower Theater in Philadelphia and the Agora Theater in Cleveland, Ohio. And I thought, I don't know nothing about this band. Oh, they play I Am the Walrus on the end of the album. Well, that's my favorite Beatles song, so naturally I'm going to buy this. It's a phenomenal masterpiece. I think Yes Songs is my favorite live album. This is my second. This is so good.
Really?
So I started
Interesting.
with this album knowing nothing about this band. They never got radio airplay. They're like King's X. They're the most best kept secret out of America. But like you showed, this was their debut album, which came 3 albums before that live album, because the live
Yeah.
album's their 4th album, Live Sky. Now, Live Sky, I must say, never went to CD, but it did end up on this, which is called Alive and Kickin' Ass. And if you don't get this, and you like this kind of music, this band is awesome. I mean, it's kind of hard to compare them to anybody else. It's kind of like the Beatles meet the Tubes meet,
Very much.
Well, you know what I hear?
They're so cool.
This is what I hear when I hear Crack the Sky. And we're just going to keep it loose in it. I hear Max Webster. I hear Sparks.
Yeah.
I hear the Tubes. And I hear Klaatu. Now, if
Yeah.
you took all 4 of those bands together and combined them, it sounds like Crack the Sky. That's what I hear. But I will have to say this, that Crack the Sky really does only sound like Crack the Sky. But, for someone out here who doesn't know the band, in describing it, Max Webster, Sparks, the Tubes, and Klaatu, that might be a good combination, and that's what you would get.
What a blender.
In a blender.
But you know what? I can't talk about Sparks much because I've never listened to that much. I've heard Kimono My House, and it blew my mind, but I haven't heard anything else. Oh, and also, I just want to point out,
Yeah.
they put this out in 2008, which is the DVD. This is a must. If you're going to get into this band, you got to watch them play live. It's just, they're so good, so tight. And they got 2 lead players and a keyboard player and a bass player and a drummer and a rhythm guitar player, guy who sings. Okay, so why did John Palumbo leave the band after Animal Notes? And
There you
the
go.
answer is he wanted to start a solo career. They were getting ready to record Safety in Numbers, and John Palumbo, who wrote all the songs, just split. He's gone. And Rick Witkowski, the I think it was him, the one of the guitar players, said, "I've got 2 words for you guys," because we had no singer. Gary Chappelle. They got Gary Chappelle on Safety in Numbers, plus he ends up singing on Live Sky. And he's great. He does a great job. And so everybody that gets turned on to this band like me hasn't heard John Palumbo sing yet. Don't know anything about it. Just knew he wrote all these songs, and we were thinking, what is he, kind of like a silent partner or something? He's writing all these songs, but he like a Brian Wilson, kind of like like writing all the Pet Sound stuff and then hiring all these people to play. But anyways, the Live Sky album is incredible. No airplay on radio whatsoever. I heard A Night on the Town with Snow White one time on Classic Rock FM, and I never heard it again. It's just one of those bands that they go, remember I told you a long time ago when I first met you, what about groups who are too talented to get on the radio?
You did mention that as a topic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those bands like King's X, Klaatu. I mean, well, exactly. Forget that, because Klaatu did get on the radio with that.
Yeah, Calling Occupants got some traction.
Interplanetary Craft. Yeah. And we're going to actually talk about that band sometime.
We are. Soon.
But anyways, just
so what's your thoughts on the So what's your thoughts on this record?
On the debut that you got showing?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. But to me, the live versions are like 100th to the 10th power. That it's just, this band is like King's X. They just come alive on stage. Their crowd loves them when they're in the not studio, but when they're in the wherever they're playing, venue. I'll say venue.
Right.
the fans love this band. I mean, they are just so loyal and dedicated. We should do a Max Webster show. I love them. I have a lot
We
of
could
them.
do back. I've got all that stuff.
And
I don't have the box set, but I've got the individual CDs.
the
I do have
party.
that.
Yeah, I can get the party on Apple Tunes. It's really easy. But yeah, I mean, I really love this album. I think it's really really good. Thanks, Jason. I love it. I love King's X. They're one of my favorite bands ever. Uh, yeah, I mean, I really do love this album. I don't really feel like ranking it, but I would give it.
You don't have to rank
if I-
it. What would you get? What would you rate it out of 10?
What
In
if I
fact,
would
everybody,
rate-
if you know this record, we can just kind of run this kind of like we do on the One and Done series and on the Contrarians Dark Horse. If you know this record, what would you rate this first album out of 10? We will compile it all, and you know, it's all about us trying to turn people onto stuff. So if you want to give me your rating before I get to my spiel, go ahead.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention that this has 4 bonus tracks that aren't really on the album. But that song Dr. Octopus, did you get a chance to hear that?
I don't have, all I've got is, like I said, all I've got is this, and I'm missing a track.
Oh, okay. So you didn't get a chance. Okay. Well,
No,
anyways,
I just listened to what I had.
the song Ice is probably the most progressive thing on there. Now, see, this is interesting because on the album, the studio album right here, Ice is only about 4 minutes and change. On Live Sky, it's 14:45.
Oh, wow.
They
Well, and
really open up live.
hey,
And Ice is
everybody,
killer.
we have an alert. Ernesto has this on 8-track. Everybody can rest easy because Ernesto has it on 8-track, he thinks.
He says,
So
"I
everybody,
think."
don't panic. Everything's fine. You mentioned Ice. I wrote on my notes, Rand, I said Ice is probably the most prog track. You've got that Chris Squire kind of bass. But I think Ice seems to be more Zappa-like than anything. That's how I hear it.
I mean, nobody does melodies like that. This is an amazing band. I mean, they're just so what do you call it? Unique and original.
Well, I
Even
agree.
though you've got the melting pot of the blender kind of thing. Yeah, but I mean, they put their favorite bands into their tunes, and you can tell. And then when the live album closed with "I Am the Walrus," I was like, "Holy crap!" By the way, just to tell you about the live album, if you get this Alive and Kicking Ass, and it's the Live Sky part where they go into "Hold On," which is the opening number. This guy comes out. I think he's from Philadelphia, and he goes, "Good evening. This band has come all the way down from an acid trip just to play for you tonight. Please welcome Crack the Sky." And then they go into "Hold On." It's great stuff.
That's
The
crazy.
Surf City on the live album is insane. I don't even know how to describe how good it is. It blows the studio version out of the water.
I don't know. I
telling
like
you
this.
guys, man.
I don't know.
Grab Alive and Kicking Ass. You got to get that.
All right.
Or at least you listen to it on YouTube or something.
I'll put it on my list. So, Rand, what would you rate this record out of 10? I need a
Give it
a rating.
9.5. I'd give it a
9.5.
9.5.
Okay.
For a debut album, it's excellent.
All
This
right.
sounds really good. It was really well produced.
Okay. Cool. All right, DC. Throw it over to you. What's your thoughts on this record? I know you knew of the band.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this is probably new to you as far as listening experience. and
Well, yeah. To be honest, my history of the band starts with this album.
That was the
their
best,
third
biggest
one.
seller. Biggest
And,
seller.
That is the album I put above everything else I've heard. And like I say, to be honest with you, their first 2 albums are pretty new to me, and I've only listened to both of them a handful of times. But for once, I agree with Rolling Stone magazine, who highly touted that 1975 debut from Crack the Sky. And what a shame how things all shook out. This band should have been huge. Incredibly creative, with the talent to play in a variety of styles. And they also, as you guys noted, and I noted on my notes, the band, the Tubes, kept on coming up as I'm listening to these songs because they had that sense of humor as well that always helps. And I see touches of Queen in this band as well, like Night on the Town with Snow White's got that, dare I say, vaudeville feel to it, or of an earlier era type of pop song that Queen did with Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy and some of the other ones. And of course, they didn't have a dynamic frontman like Freddie Mercury, but this band had the chops. They could be commercial, they could be complex, but always with a sense of tunefulness. And I'm not a humongous fan of prog, but I do like the group Flash. And this is very accessible prog, in my opinion.
Right.
Part of their problem was that their label, Lifesong Records, just didn't have the resources to promote these guys correctly. I remember I'm growing up in Northeast Ohio in Youngstown, and I heard them on the FM rock station we had locally called The Wizard, which was to compete with WMMS in Cleveland. And I heard Lighten Up McGraw from the third album. The problem with the station in Youngstown is it was all on tape. You didn't have a DJ telling you the tracks. So if you heard something you liked and weren't familiar with it, you were lost. Luckily, at one of the record stores, I just mentioned, hey, who in the hell does Lighten Up McGraw? And somebody working there said, that's Crack the Sky. So I have to say, of the two albums, I prefer the debut more. Like I said, I don't think either one of them are as good as their third album, which is my favorite of what I've heard. But I prefer that first album. Track-wise, I don't know if you want me to go through all of them one by one with my notes, but
why don't you go through them and then I will come in and make comments. Do that.
Okay.
Because I got all my notes up now and I've made notes on each song. So if anybody's interested, then we can go ahead. We'll just tag team it.
All right. The first tune from the first album is called Hold On, and I thought it was a great lead track. It's funky and proggy with interesting arrangements, fine vocals. There's also a spoken vocal passage on it that reminds me a little bit of Wings' Rock Show at certain points. Searing lead guitar, which is everybody knows that's familiar with this band, the quality of musicianship. Second tune, I don't know, do you have anything
Hold On, I do. When I hear Hold On, I really think Max Webster in my monkey brain. It really sounds like Max Webster. And the fact that they open up the track with that megaphone type effect, on the vocals where it just sounds kind of, I don't know, almost like he's talking through a phone or something. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, that's a bold move for a debut album to have something like that.
Absolutely, because you're trying to put your best foot forward to the masses.
Right.
And to throw a curveball like that, coming right out of the box, that says a lot about these guys and their confidence as musicians.
Oh, I say you're 100%. That second track, Surf City, DC, in Rand, starts off with almost like a Jimi Hendrix type of opening to me. And then the riff, that riff on that song is the same riff to the song Steam Engine by the Monkees. Same damn riff.
I've never heard that.
Go check.
And they play an E9 chord. They play an E9 chord on that, which gives it kind of a funky Superfly kind of vibe.
I swear to God, it's Steam Engine by the Monkees. I swear to God.
I'll have to check it out.
Check it out. This track also reminds me of the Tubes.
Yeah,
I can see something on this song if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
John sounds like he's recording in a microphone when he sings this. Like he said, like DC said, it sounds kind of like he's rapping it out. It's like he's reporting the news on the song. Or explaining what he went through, because he said I was he opens up the tune with "I was doing something," and then it goes, but it's all like not melody. You know what I mean? It's just like kind of like on the slide.
Right.
It's kind of like there's a bit of a Beach Boys vibe here too. It's kind of like the Beach Boys go Prague. That
The
Surf
Beach
City,
Boys go
here,
Prague.
Surf City, here come the sharks. It's just a fun, upbeat tune, like you say. It reminds me a bit of the Tubes. Vocally, instrumentally, very impressive. Like I said, it's accessible prog with hard rock, funk, and surf music thrown in together in a mix. That's what I wrote for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about
third tune
it's
is-
about competing with other people.
Third tune is a C epic, clocking in over at 6 minutes. And this is a piano-driven tune. It reminds me a little bit of Queen's more extravagant overtures. And halfway through it, it shifts gears and becomes like almost like a Papa Pirates song. If I'm remembering correctly, maybe I'm not. But these
Well,
guys
it
are
kind
fun
of
and
reminds me
inventive.
of Procol Harum.
I wrote Procol Harum on here too. I went piano ballad about a sea captain. I mean, what more would you want? Middle section has strings. It's kind of like a power ballad to some degree. You've got those Beach Boys vocals. And I thought it really does sound like Procol Harum. At least it's in that kind of vein.
Not only that, but if you look at the lyrical theme of that, it's very much like "I'm Your Captain."
Oh, can that happen?
Everybody.
I guess
I don't know, DC. Is that possible?
that's quite possible. Like the Procol Harum reference, go a little bit over my head because I'm not as familiar with their music, but that's a interesting point with Grand Funk there.
Rand and I are all right on the same page on the
You
lot of
guys
stuff.
are like, your minds are melding together in thought.
They don't do a lot of sea epics, but they have two that I loved: "A Salty Dog," which is
Sea epics.
We need more sea epics.
stories. Whaling Stories is awesome.
So, like on She's a Dancer, the next song, I have a question for Rand. Is that Mellotron on that?
Yeah, where it goes, wow.
Yeah, is that a Mellotron?
Yeah, they just take the pitch out thing and turn it.
Okay.
They
Well,
play a
that
C
song's...
chord, down to A.
She's a Dancer's got a great chorus, a great riff, great song. The vocals are killer. It's wonderful. DC, what do you think? You dig that track too? What'd you write about that?
I saw this song has a dance groove. It's very accessible, very catchy. Dare I say a toe tapper?
Is it a foot? But wait, is it a foot stomper?
That as well. Foot stomper and a toe tapper.
Is it a foot stomper?
And Marlon, beware, there are horns on this tune. So just be pre-warned.
Is Ken here?
Yeah, that's
hey,
probably
Ken's here.
Hey, Ken.
Ken, how are you?
Hey, Ken.
All right, keep going. What's the next track?
Right,
Wow, if we get any more looser tonight, we may fall apart.
The next one's Robots for Ronnie, and I put Randy Newman meets Pink Floyd. Or at least that's how it strikes me. And for me, that means it's not going to be my favorite tune, but I certainly respect this band's diversity and creativity. There's no denying these guys are very fun, very comfortable doing a variety of different approaches. So
Yeah.
you really got to tip your hat to them.
The lyrical theme in that song is so sad. This guy's got no friends. His parents don't like him. He doesn't like his parents. And everybody's saying, well, the only way he's going to get a friend is to buy him a robot.
Kind of an odd
just
track,
terrible.
but I like it. I don't have any problem with it.
It's cool
Then we
too.
go. That's good. Then we have Ice, probably the most prog track, like we talked about. I guess this is why they put them in the prog category, because it does have that. It's very proggy, but it's really the only album that I would put in that category. Everything else would be prog adjacent. But,
Well, I'll tell you
it's
one
okay.
thing. In the opening number of Safety in Numbers, the first version, I'm going to talk about that too, the two versions of it. But Nuclear Apathy is incredible. It's proggy as prog gets.
On my CD, I don't have the track Mind Baby. So you guys, I've never heard it. DC, did you hear that? Did you guys?
Yeah, I have it on the where I listen to it.
Okay.
And I put funky, riffy, and again, kind of danceable. It's unique. You got to listen to it. And this band is not easily defined. Maybe that's why they just stuck them in prog. They didn't know what the hell to do with them or how to frame them or define them. But I say I love their creative spark, and the musicianship is off the charts. And between the players, they have a synergy that you would have to pull it off.
All right, cool.
So that's and then I don't have a tie.
I don't have a tie. I think that one's kind of proggy. And we did that show on Sea of Tranquility on Pablo Cruz. And I'm going to say it again, in my monkey brain, I think Pablo Cruz when I hear this song.
I put Steely Danish in parts, and it's great guitar with the Doobie Brothers style guitar riff that's in there.
Well, Marlon, we thought that once you disappeared because you didn't let anybody know you weren't going to be around, we thought something happened.
Yeah, we were worried, Marlon.
I mean, how can I do all these shows without you giving me shit? He's probably glad to be back. So everything.
Then we finish up with Sleep, and the only thing I put about that one, I said it was acoustic guitar driven and kind of a Crosby, Stills, Nash Young-ish, maybe.
Yeah. What did I put? I put great acoustic guitars on here. I mean, this record has a lot of different variety, a lot of different instrumentation. It always keeps it fresh. But Jethro Tull is what came to mind on here on this track for me.
And also what I didn't realize at first, but I noted from kind of scouting around that Michael Brecker and David Sanborn also guest on this album.
Yeah.
On horn, saxophone.
Nice.
Was there a new Sweet album, Ashley? Parrish, have you heard the new Sweet album?
Andy Scott.
Well, what's left of Sweet? For God's sakes.
It's Andy Scott.
It's the Andy member. It's just like it's like the Steve Howe band. It's the Andy Scott band. It's the Andy Scott band.
Fine with it. I like Andy Scott.
I do. He's really good. I think he's top notch. All right, so DC, what would you rate this?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Rand.
Go ahead, Rand.
I was going to say something. I was going to mention something about Mind Baby because when you look at the title, you go, "What? What does that mean?" But it's taken out of context because John Palumbo sings. It looks like she's lost her mind, baby.
It's so taken out of context. They took it off my CD.
They missed a comma. Mind, comma, baby.
Yeah.
But if I was to rate this, and folks understand my experience with these first two albums is very limited. Really, my real experience with the band is that third album and the album after that. But I've not listened to this or the second album that much. I would give it an 8. And that could change the more I listen to it. But initially, I would give it an 8.
An 8. Okay. I don't think I have much more to add on here. I had that up. Let me get that up again. So, Rand, you gave it, what, a 9.5?
Yeah, I chose that because I got the advantage on you guys. I've been listening to it since 1975.
Well, you have the advantage on everyone on the planet.
I was.
That's why over time and me listening to the album more, it may hit me.
So, DC, you're going to go. You're going to go with an 8.
Yeah.
Okay. And we got a 9.5 from Rand and 8 from DC. Okay, good. I'm going to give it a 9. I think this record. How could I go throughout my life and not hear this record? I knew of the band.
You wouldn't play it.
Well, I know, but they never played it on FM rock radio, so there you go for one.
I know. What do I always say? Exposure, exposure, exposure. The
Yeah,
best
like these
bands don't get
CDs. I bought these CDs because I knew we were going to do a Crack the Sky show sometime. And what has this show been going? We've been trying to plan this for a year. So funny.
Yeah,
kicked around a bit.
So I'm going
I
to
got
give
that-
it a 9.
I
Go
just
ahead.
want you to know, but buying this, you're missing nothing. Everything's there.
You're missing. No, it's not. They took 2 tracks off of Safety in Numbers. It's the entire album of Animal Notes, but Safety in Numbers is missing
Well, I've
2
got
tracks.
the vinyl. I'll have to check.
Oh, you've got the vinyl. Well, that might be different. Okay, so I got Jeff Dennis gives this a 9. All right, we'll add that to it.
Nice. Yeah.
Anybody else? Anybody else know this record? Have a score for it?
Oh, by the way, can I tell you what my theory is where they got their name? Because I didn't look it up and I don't know, but I've always thought this.
Sure.
There's a Cat Stevens song on Tea for the Tillerman, the very opening tune called Where Did the Children Play? And there's a line in there, Crack the Sky, Scrapers in the Air.
Yeah, I would say
you're
that's a good
probably right.
possibility. Yeah, that's a
I
good
think you're probably
possibility.
right.
And Grant,
All right.
if you're missing 2 tunes off this stellar album, that's quite a bit because every track on this album is fantastic.
Well,
I can't imagine them
let's
leaving
find
anything
out
off of it.
You have the LP, right? You just showed it.
He
You
does.
You got the LP, right?
Yeah, I've got this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Grant
On
was
the
saying
back,
that
does
there's
Does
two.
it say
two
these
tunes.
songs, DC?
All right.
Go ahead. Read down the track listing. Go ahead.
Which ones? Let me,
Safety
let me
in
read what I
Numbers.
got, and you
Safety
can
in
tell me
Number.
what I'm missing.
Okay. I've
I
got,
got that. Hang on. Nuclear Apathy, Long
Yep.
Nights, Flashlight, Light
Yep.
McGraw, Give Myself to You, A Night on the Town with Snow White, and Safety in Numbers.
The only thing you're missing is on side 1. The last tune on side 1 is called Prelude to Safety in Numbers. Other than that,
they
you've
took
got
that
all
off.
of them.
Okay. I
Yeah,
don't
those
think that's
bastards.
important. Those
Well,
sons
I
of
think it's all important. Okay. All right,
I
everybody,
didn't know
calm
that.
calm down. Everyone calm down. I've got Davies coming in with an 8.
Yeah, me and Davy are right. Copacetic there.
And with the parish, so I've got another 8.
Yep.
We have to get this. Ashley's giving it a 6 out of 10.
Did Marlon truly give this a 0?
I don't know if Marlon's still here.
I thought I saw
Logan tells
Marlon.
me to rein it in. You guys are getting too out of hand on my show. Ashley says Animal Notes is a 6 out of 10. Okay. Marlon. Okay, Marlon's weighing in. He's giving it a 7.
Okay.
A 7 or an 8, Marlon? I need to know. We all give it an 8. All right. All right, that's fine. Brian, that's your score, 8? I'm going to go with another 8. Okay, let's just calculate it. I think we're going to go with an 8. Based on everybody together, we got a 7.94.
That's about as close to an 8 as you can get.
That's pretty good. I think it's a better album than that.
You round it
Okay.
up, it's an 8.
Marlon says closer to 7. All right. Dean says 6 tops. Okay. All right. Well, we're here just rapping music, and hopefully we can turn some people on if you don't know it. Yeah, I got your score. Logan, what do you mean 7%? Well, it's an 8%. 7.9, that's an 8. All right, cool. So there you go. What time is it? I'm looking. Oh, we are just doing a lot of blabbing. Let's talk about that second album, because I have another
Animal
show
Notes.
tonight.
All right.
Animal Notes.
I can
What
just give a
else is
quick overview. In this one,
Go ahead.
I did not like it as much as the debut album. That first track, we Want Mine, I said it was Supertramp like. I thought it could have been a good single. And there's Dixieland horns in this thing. I'll listen to what the man says. Very interesting.
It's funny you mentioned that because I hear Paul McCartney's 1985.
Are you talking about We Want Mine?
We Want Mine, yeah.
I hear it sounds like a late 60s track to me. It sounds like Clad 2. You got that catchy piano, kind of reminds me of it's got that Lady Madonna kind of feel.
Yeah.
It would fit perfectly on the first Clad 2 album, I swear to God.
I got that 1985 piano.
Yeah,
I just feel
we all heard a Beatles or McCartney like vibe in this one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Second one, Animal Skins, acoustic guitar driven, Zeppelin like in that respect with an Eastern influence.
Correct. And I wrote on my notes, ladies and gentlemen, is this 1967? Because the way it sounds, you've got this mid-Eastern vibe on the second track, and then We Want Mine, which is definitely late 60s oriented. It sounds very 60s based so far. So
it sounds something that George Harrison would have written after visiting with the Maharishi.
There you go.
if he had any power in the band.
He had any mojo.
Mojo.
Well, we got number 3 is Wet Teenager. We get a rockin' tune here. I also said Wings Like Guitar Passages, and I put in parentheses Jet and a nice lead.
Louder Than Life said Animal Notes is a slight step down to my ears, but not at all a weak record. No, I don't know. We Want Mine is a fantastic opener. I can't disagree. I think it's just a different record. Anyway, go ahead, DC.
These things that we don't want your money, we want mine. That's so clever. The lyrics. I'm a big lyric guy.
These guys are very smart, very funny, and you can tell not only musically but lyrically, very clever guys.
Yeah.
So, hats off, especially tonight.
This guy's written so many songs, you guys. I mean, they got like 20 studio albums and five albums.
I know. I haven't even done a deep dive with this band. Like I say, after album 4, I have no knowledge of all the stuff that they've released.
Do you guys know artist Andy Pratt?
I've heard of him.
This track Avenging Annie. You ever hear that? Or any of Andy Pratt's stuff?
That's the only song I've ever heard of.
This stuff is very similar to his stuff. I hear a lot of Andy Pratt here. And I think Andy Pratt, what did that predate this? That's like 1971, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Tell me I'm wrong in the chat. But Wet Teenager, that's a good rocker. You got a lot of double leads. You got harmonies. It's good. Maybe I Can Fool Everybody Tonight. One thing that I made a note on my notes is that this album is not as quirky. But you're getting a lot of double lead guitar on here. I don't know if it's the Thin Lizzy treatment. April Wine influence. I don't know. Well, this is a little early because April Wine didn't really start that until like 77, 78. So it's probably more of a Thin Lizzy thing. I don't know. But this album's way more accessible than the other record, I think.
I mentioned on this particular tune that the lead guitar reminds me a little bit of Bebop Deluxe's Bill Nelson. At least that's how it hit me.
There you go.
For me, the songs on this album don't hit me as strongly or as immediate as That's Just Me, as the stuff from the first album. So that's not saying that's right. That's just how it's hitting me.
Excuse me, guys.
Logan.
I gotta go. I'll be back.
Okay. Wet Teenager. Logan. Not Wet Willie.
What?
Parrish said this one reminds him of ELO. I get that. Creighton agrees with the Parish of Rock. And the Parish of Rock totally agrees with DC. We've got so much agreement. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to mention about Maybe I Can Fool Everybody Tonight is that the reprise at the end is pretty cool. Because it fades out, comes back in. I'm down with that. I think that's pretty good. Rangers at Midnight. It's like a mini rock opera.
It's
your thoughts?
Grant, Grant, you're right there with me. I said cinematic soundscape. Say that 3 times fast.
I can't.
And to me, it seems like another kind of Randy Newman-ish type song. Bouncy Queen-like as well. And there's a lot of improv between keys and guitars on this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Logan will be here all week. So I don't know who's taking care of the warehouse right now. Probably Marlon, because Marlon was here and he disappeared. I hope, because young Logan should be sweeping the aisles tonight, and he's here hanging out.
Let's hope Denny's not in charge. Good
Denny
Lord.
is out of control. But I like Rangers at Midnight. Yeah, I agree. It's louder than light. It's quirky. It's kind of quirky, but this record's not quite as quirky. Rangers at Midnight could have fit on the other record. The other track that we're looking at, Virgin No. And Logan's going to come back and go, Virgin?
What? Virgin what?
Another rocker with those thin Lizzy guitar, dueling guitars.
I put tubes like rocker, less prog, and more straightforward until the second half of the song. Then we get a big old melting pot of song sounds, including vocals, guitars, keys, and Marlon horns.
And Marlon's horns. Wait a minute. There's Marlon. He's still here, but he's leaving.
Oh.
For God's sakes.
Hey, see you, Marlon. Hey, and
see you, Marlon. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, thank you for your volunteer work at the camp. That's awesome that you do.
Thanks for sweeping up aisle 17.
Yes.
So Virgin, no, that's a good song. Invader from Mars. And this is one of those tracks that I wrote down that reminds me of Andy Pratt. Or Klaatu. Take your pick. It really reminds me of Avenging Annie by Andy Pratt. And it could be a Klaatu, so.
Yeah, this is piano driven, and at times it's very delicate. And again, Queen comes to mind. The second part, Play On, is quite the extravaganza. Much respect, but a lot of that is just not in my wheelhouse. But top-notch talent. I would never question the abilities of these guys. It's just that it's really in these wheelhouse or not. Dang it.
Is that you?
Yes, everything's going to hell tonight with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pray for DC. He needs prayer tonight.
If you guys only knew the last 2 days. Oh, crap.
Is it anything to do with Dementia Cat, or is Dementia Cat okay?
There's a little bit. Oh, he's right here. There's a little bit going on with him, but it's been a crazy 2 days. Not all bad, just very busy.
Well, you made it, so that you're good.
I apologize for being late.
But it's all right. It happens. You do a live show, things happen. People understand that here, so we're a community here in the warehouse.
Since Rand's out, I'll just give you my.
I want your rating.
For this album.
I'm ready.
This is a slightly down from the debut, and I would give this one a 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, I don't like it as well as the first one, but still, it's worth your listen at least.
Well, I also think that this is a little bit of a step down from the debut, and I would give this an 8.
At least we both agree on that. It's a bit of a step down from the original.
Ernesto, can someone check on Rand? You know what? Let me get in my car. I'll head over to Eureka. We'll see what he's doing. So anybody else know this record? What would you rate this so we can tally it all together? We want to hear from you, because in the warehouse, we all have an aisle to clean.
I saw where Logan thinks in this light I look a little bit like Mr. Clean. So we have...
all right, we got an 8 out of 10 from Jeff. Okay.
So we have Mr. Clean and Sam Drucker. Fantastic.
Cretin, who's always going against the grain, disagrees and 8.5.
8.5 from Davy. Oh, interesting.
All right. These damn Ramones people.
We got to get Rand to round out his thoughts on the second album.
Yeah, I gotta hurry up too.
Okay.
But listen, I think.
Go ahead and give us your rating then. We pretty much already talked about it.
Let me explain something. I've had Rangers at Midnight in my head for 2 days. I can't get rid of this hook. I love it. I love this tune. I love this album. I think this band gets better as they go along. And I think this is a great album. And I think this is a 10. And I think Safety in Numbers is my favorite Crack the Sky album. And
you and I
Lifestyle.
are in agreement with that.
If we were only talking about Safety in Numbers, that would be pertinent. If we were only talking about that one.
I brought that up for a reason, because I want to tell people that there's two versions of Safety in Numbers.
Okay, go ahead.
And I've given my 10, so you already know.
So anyway, Animal Notes is a 10?
Yeah. And in 1978, Safety in Numbers gets released. Mm-hmm. Gary Chappell is the singer. They do the live album, Live Sky. Gary Chappell is the singer. 1980, they do white music. John Palumbo's the singer. Who in the hell is this guy? I never know. But anyways, when you move your way all the way to 2007, John Palumbo re-records Safety in Numbers completely with the band. And they add 3 songs. But they took away 3 songs to add the 3 songs. I think that's what happened. But anyways,
Louder Than Life probably knows.
That's a crazy history, Rand. That's crazy.
I know. And people really, really either love it or hate it. There's no in between. It's 20, but it says 21st century re-recording. It says, but
Louder Than Life says it's a much better album with John on it.
There you go. See what I mean?
Wink, wink.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think, Rand? It's better with John Palumbo?
I don't know, because it's not the same album. But what I was thinking, how about an album war of Safety in Numbers versus Safety in Numbers?
Yeah, I've not heard it. I'm definitely familiar with the original Safety in Numbers, and I've put that.
It's all out there on YouTube. They're both on YouTube. You could go listen to them anytime you like. But what do you guys think? Do you want to do that?
Well, I'd have to, of course. Sure. Yes. Okay. Of course.
But I think it'd be interesting. It's an interesting take on album wars, because nobody has ever done an album war where it was the same title versus the title.
That's crazy. I wasn't privy to that before.
Versus 2007. How many years is that? That's like 17 years, or no?
That's the only time that has to have happened in rock history.
That's 19 years separated, I think.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
More than that.
More.
2008. Okay, 29 years. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
Crazy.
go.
And he wanted to, Yes did the same thing with Fly From Here on Return Trip. They re-recorded it with the original vocalist.
Here we go. John is objectively an inferior singer to Gary, but there's a personality in his voice that is unmistakable.
I would agree with that.
Rand?
Yeah.
Okay.
John Palumbo's got it's kind of hard. I don't want to compare him to anybody in particular, but Roger Waters, since he wrote everything. You know what I mean? He wanted to record that album, and he waited 29 years to do it.
See you, Jason. We're wrapping this dog up. So our average for this record, we're going to average it, and we come up with a 7.85.
That's real close to the other one.
Pretty close.
Pretty close to the other one.
Yeah.
It's my 10.
It's Rand's 10 that set us over. I guess everybody's leaving.
I also love Invaders from Mars too. Great song. I think this is more prog than the first album. I really
There's Logan's rating, a 7.83246777. Logan, there's a spill on aisle 3.
That looks like pie.
You can get over to aisle 3. That'd be great. All right, everybody. Thanks for everybody coming on. SOT starting up, so we're going to lose everybody anyway. So I want to thank everybody for coming on. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Nice little discussion, a little rough start. Yeah. DC had a lot going on. Rand had to go to the toilet or something, or irrigate something. But we're here, It was fun. Go over to SOT Cell.
Yeah.
Pete, I said hello, and everybody keep it clean, keep it real.
That's right.
And that's really all I got. All right, everybody, we'll see you on the next one.
Say hi to
Oh,
Pete
this
for me.
weekend, Milk Listening Party. We will be doing the Highway Roll Arena Listening Party, playing your favorite roller skating hits. So get your skates, and we'll see you. All right, everybody, see you.
Bye-bye.